The banker didn't lower his voice. "Ryan, these transfers," he tapped the screen, "are being treated as fraud." People at nearby tables turned. I didn't look at them. "That's not possible," I said. He rotated the monitor. My name was on every line. Authorization confirmed. Timestamped. Repeated. Millions, moved out in clean intervals. No errors. No flags. Perfect. "We've already locked your accounts," he added. "Compliance is reviewing for criminal exposure. Not irregularities. Not mistakes. Criminal." I didn't react. Didn't touch the screen. Just leaned in slightly. "Pull the login origins." A pause. "We did." He clicked. Locations appeared. Office network. Home network. My credentials. No anomalies. Too clean. That's when it shifted. Not panic. Pattern. Whoever did this didn't break in. They operated inside the system. With permissions. With timing. With access I didn't delegate lightly. The banker watched me. Waiting for denial. For panic. For a mistake. I gave him nothing. Who else had authorization rights? I asked. He hesitated. That was enough. Because there was only one person who could move money like that. And make it look like I signed every line. And she was the one who told me everything was under control this morning. Same tone. Same calm. I sat back. No defense. No explanation. Because the problem wasn't the money. It was the fact that someone had already built a case. And I was the one inside it. Nicole was already in my office when I got back. Laptop open. 3 windows running. Accounts. Vendors. Audit logs. "You're back," she said. Not a question. I closed the door. The bank froze everything. "I expected that," she replied. No reaction. No surprise. Just a click on the keyboard. "That confirms it's external," she added. "They flagged abnormal flow." Flagged. She was already speaking in their language. "I'm rebuilding the transaction chain," she continued. "We need to show origin before compliance escalates." Before. So she knew it would. I stepped closer. Which accounts were hit first? She didn't check. Operating line. Then reserve. Correct. Too fast. Her phone buzzed. She glanced. Locked the screen instantly. "IT is pulling access logs," she said. "We'll isolate the breach point." Same phrasing as the bank. Almost identical. I didn't sit. Didn't touch anything. Just watched. New vendor list open. 4 names. All recent. "All of these?" I asked. "Temporary routing partners," she answered. "Short-term load balancing." No hesitation. No delay. Like the answer existed before the question. I don't remember approving them. "You did," she said. Same tone. Flat. Closed. She turned the screen toward me. Authorization records. My signature. Every file. Perfect alignment. Same pressure curve. Same timestamp spacing. Not copied. Replicated. I scrolled. Dates matched the transfers. Too clean. Who initiated the onboarding? I asked. "You did," she repeated. Not looking at me. Just holding the line. Silence. Then. Her phone buzzed again. Longer this time. She didn't check it. Didn't even move. That was new. Nicole never ignored alerts. Bank asked anything specific, she said. Not what happened. Not how much. Just the bank. They're reviewing criminal exposure. A pause. Short. Controlled. We'll correct the narrative before that, she said. Correct. Not explain. Not prove. Correct. I didn't respond. Just moved to my terminal. Opened internal logs. Recent access. User, me. Session origin, internal network. No anomalies. Exactly like the bank saw it. System confirmed it. End to end. Whoever did this didn't just move money. They aligned every layer. Documents. Access. Timing. Narrative. I closed the logs. Keep tracking, I said. Nicole nodded. Already typing. Already ahead. Like she knew what needed to appear next. I walked to the door. Didn't look back. Because the explanation worked. Every part of it held. Technically. Procedurally. Logically. Except one thing. She never once asked if I was actually responsible. I didn't confront her. Because by then, it was already too clean. I started tracking patterns. Not assumptions. Behavior. First, her phone. It never stayed on the desk anymore. Not once. Every movement, she took it with her. Screen down. Locked instantly. No interruptions allowed. Second, timing. She stayed late. But not working. Waiting. I watched her pause between actions. Listening for something that hadn't happened yet. Like she expected a signal. Third, process. I reviewed vendor onboarding. 4 new entries. All recent. All bypassed finance approval. Her approval. No flags triggered. No escalation. That shouldn't exist. I didn't question it. I moved to verification. I initiated a controlled transfer. Small. Internal. Flagged for dual authorization. Her signature required. I didn't tell her. Didn't send a request. Didn't trigger a conversation. I just waited. 7 minutes later. Approved. Complete. I never touched the system. I checked the logs. Request, created. Authorization, mine. Confirmation, hers. Full cycle. All recorded. All valid. That's when the pressure shifted. Not suspicion. Control. Whoever was inside wasn't reacting. They were operating ahead of me. I pulled previous transactions. Same structure. Same spacing. Same flow. Then I saw it. A delay. 3 seconds. Between my approval and hers. Every time. Identical. Not human. Scripted. That was the first break in the system. Not visible. But precise. I followed one transaction deeper. Through routing layers. Through vendor chains. Until it collapsed into a single endpoint. One company. Recently registered. No operating history. No activity before 3 months ago. I opened the registry. Scrolled once. Stopped. Owner. Ethan. I didn't move. Didn't scroll further. Because that name didn't belong there. Nicole never mentioned him in finance. Never linked him to operations. Never once. And yet, money was moving through a structure. That ended with him. Not external. Not random. Not a breach. Connected. Deliberate. I leaned back. Replayed everything. The phone. The timing. The approvals. The pattern. And for the first time, it stopped looking like access manipulation. And started looking like coordination. Not between systems. Between people. That's when it landed. I wasn't tracking a breach anymore. I was tracking them. I stopped testing. Testing left traces. I started pulling records. Quietly. First, access logs. Full export. Every session tied to my credentials. Time. Origin. Activity. On the surface, clean. Exactly what the bank saw. I sorted by concurrency. That's where it broke. 2 sessions. Same user. Same timestamp. Different actions. One executing transfers. The other idle. Impossible under normal conditions. I didn't react. I marked it. Minimized the window. Footsteps passed outside the office. I locked the screen. Waited. Silence. Then continued. Second, authorization flow. Every transfer followed the same sequence. My approval. 3 seconds. Nicole. No variation. Not once. I recreated the condition. Manual trigger. Waited. Nothing changed. The system didn't respond. It executed. Preloaded. That meant the decision point wasn't happening in real time. I moved deeper. Audit scripts. Restricted layer. Access I rarely used. Each query increased exposure. Each log pull left a trace. I kept it minimal. One request at a time. Most scripts were standard. Maintenance. Reconciliation. Then one stood out. Recent. Poorly labeled. Linked to authorization events. I didn't open it fully. If it was monitored, that would flag. Instead, I traced its outputs. Vendor routing. Same 4 entries Nicole added. Same endpoints. I mapped the flow. Layer by layer. Accounts splitting. Recombining. Disappearing. Reappearing. At the end. 3 entities. All new. All synchronized. All built on identical legal structures. That wasn't setup noise. That was architecture. My phone vibrated. Unknown number. I ignored it. Then again. Same number. I let it ring out. Because if the bank was escalating, I needed minutes. Not answers. I checked ownership. First entity. Ethan. Confirmed. Second. Holding layer. Third. Proxy. No direct name. But linked through recovery credentials. Same pattern. Same control. I moved to document storage. Authorizations. Every signature, mine. Perfect. Too perfect. I pulled metadata. Creation timestamps. Not when I signed. When they were generated. Seconds before execution. Every time. Not reaction. Preparation. That shifted it. They weren't using my access. They were staging actions. Then attaching me to them. My screen flickered. Brief. Then stable. System refresh. Or someone checking active sessions. I closed 2 windows. Left one open. Normal activity. Nothing flagged. No anomalies. If they were watching, I wasn't there. I leaned back. Ran it again in my head. Script trigger pre-built approvals routed vendors controlled endpoints. Nicole controlled entry. Ethan controlled exit. System confirmed everything. Clean. Complete. Defensible. I closed the logs. Because this wasn't about stopping anything anymore. It was already built. Already running. Already positioned. And if I moved wrong, I wouldn't just lose the company. I'd confirm their version. That I built it myself. I stopped pulling logs. Not because I was done. Because anything more would expose me. Every query. Every access point. Traceable. I closed everything down. One window at a time. Left just enough activity to look routine. Nothing flagged. Nothing abnormal. Then I waited. 3 minutes. No alerts. No forced logouts. No access revocation. That told me something worse. If they were watching, they weren't worried. Which meant they thought I was still inside it. I opened the transaction flow again. Not to analyze. To confirm. Same pattern. Same precision. Same control. No deviation. No randomness. That's when it locked. Nicole wasn't reacting to the system. She was driving it. Ethan wasn't connected. He was the exit. And I was the proof. Every action required me. Every log confirmed me. Every document carried my authorization. If this surfaced now, it wouldn't look like a breach. It would look like intent. Mine. I didn't look toward her office. Didn't move. Because movement was risk. And risk was already positioned against me. Instead, I changed approach. No more observation. No more testing. Containment. I cleared local traces. Session cache. Recent queries. Temporary exports. Anything that showed depth. Reduced everything to surface-level access. Normal user behavior. Nothing investigative. Then my screen flickered. Brief. System refresh. Or remote check. I didn't touch anything. Didn't even blink. If they were verifying, I was exactly where they expected me to be. Passive. Unaware. Contained. The screen stabilized. No lockout. No interruption. Good. I powered down the terminal. Slow. Controlled. No abrupt moves. I stood up. Walked past Nicole's office. She was on the phone. Voice low. Measured. No, it's already aligned, she said. Aligned. Not fixed. Not handled. Aligned. I didn't stop. Didn't look in. Because now, I didn't need confirmation. I had structure. And structure doesn't lie. I kept walking. Out of the building. No calls. No messages. No reaction. Because reacting meant playing inside their system. And their system was built around me. So I removed the only thing it needed. Access. I stepped outside. Pulled out my phone. Looked at it once. Then powered it off. No signal. No tracking. No entry point. From that moment, I wasn't part of their system anymore. Which meant everything they built no longer had control over what I did next. I didn't go home. I didn't call anyone. I moved off their grid. No company network. No shared systems. No trace they could follow in real time. I rebuilt everything from scratch. Not full extraction. Just structure. Access overlap. Authorization timing. Vendor routing. Enough to show pattern. Enough to break it. The bank wouldn't wait. Neither would they. So I chose the moment. Before compliance locked it. Before their version became permanent. I called the bank. Direct line. Escalation. I didn't accuse. I described. Concurrent sessions. Mirrored approvals. 3-second delays. They didn't interrupt me. That was the first sign. They understood. Stay available, they said. I didn't. I re-entered the system. Brief. Controlled. One action. A transaction request. Built exactly like theirs. Same structure. Same routing. Same trap. But this time, I stayed inside. Watched it happen. 3 seconds. Approval. Mine. Then hers. Instant. Automatic. No hesitation. No confirmation. She didn't even know it happened. That was the break. Live. Uncontrolled. I captured everything. Time. Sequence. Execution. Then I exited. Clean. No repetition. No noise. Seconds later. My phone lit up. Internal audit. Urgent. Not calm anymore. Ryan, we're seeing conflicting activity, right now. I'm not logged in, I said. Pause. Longer than before. That's not what we're seeing. I know. That's when it started. Not control. Movement. Fast. They were digging. But now. They were late. I went back. No rush. No hiding. Nicole was already standing. Phone in her hand. Eyes locked on the screen. What did you do? She said. No calm left. No control. Just pressure. I walked past her. Didn't answer. Opened the main system. Audit logs were live. Bank connected. Watching. Nicole stepped in front of me. That's not final, she said quickly. You're misreading it. Her voice wasn't steady anymore. I didn't respond. Scrolled once. Stopped. There it was. Live transaction. 3-second gap. My approval. Her confirmation. While I wasn't in the system. She saw it. And something in her face shifted. Not confusion. Recognition. No, she said. Quiet. Then louder. No, that's not. She reached for the keyboard. I moved first. Closed the input panel. Locked interaction. Now she couldn't change anything. Too late. Ethan's name appeared in the routing chain. Unfiltered. Exposed. Nicole froze. Then tried again. Ryan, listen, this isn't what you think. First attempt to regain control. Failed. She looked at her phone. Didn't call. Didn't move. Because there was no version left to fix. The system was open. The bank was inside it. Watching everything in real time. And for the first time, she wasn't controlling what they saw. Her breathing changed. Shallow. Uneven. Hands still. No movement left. No strategy left. Just exposure. I didn't say anything. Didn't need to. Because the moment she saw it, the version she built, stopped existing. I closed the screen. Turned away. And behind me, she didn't follow. Didn't speak. Didn't move. For the first time, there was nothing left she could control. Nicole's access was gone by morning. No notice. No transition. Her accounts were locked across the system. Audit took over everything. Vendors frozen. Transactions halted. Nothing moved without review. Ethan's companies didn't last a week. Accounts restricted. Operations suspended. No statements. No defense. Just silence. The system they built held long enough to expose them. Then it stopped working. Like it was never meant to survive attention. The company stayed. Reduced. Controlled. Every action verified. Every approval visible. No blind spots left. My name was still on everything. But now, it wasn't leverage. It was traceable. I didn't explain what happened. Didn't correct the narrative. Because I didn't need to. The system already showed it. Without interpretation. Without noise. Exactly as it was. You don't lose control when someone takes it. You lose it when you stop checking what's done in your name. What would you do if the system proved you guilty, but you knew the truth?